Town Hall 13 used to take a long time to finish, but now it takes a ridiculously short amount of time to complete. And in today's video, we're going to tell you why Town Hall 13 is so short, how to take advantage of this strategy, and then how Town Hall 13 players can set themselves up for success in the future. And guys, you want to stick around because even free-to-play players can finish Town Hall 13 within 2 months with the strategy I'm about to discuss. But first, what makes Town Hall 13 so much faster than it was before? A lot of you probably think that it's the time reductions we've gotten lately, and even though these contribute, they're not the main thing that makes Town Hall 13 shorter. I think the best way to understand this is through an analogy. Imagine that you're 8 years old and you're in the 3rd grade. You're probably at a pretty good spot and it's valuable for you to spend your time there. But if you're 25 like I am, then you probably won't be spending time in the 3rd grade because it isn't all that valuable to you. That's what staying at Town Hall 13 is like. You're spending a lot of time where you don't have a lot of value. Sure, you can get the Royal Champion unlocked and you get the scatter shots, but staying longer will prevent you from getting huge offensive upgrades. Things like the pets, the max level common equipment, or even the brand new haste vial that has taken the Clash of Clans universe by storm these last 2 weeks. So as you can see, staying at Town Hall 13 too long isn't that great, but you also can't just upgrade nothing. So how do you determine exactly what to upgrade? Well, that's where strategic rushing comes in, a method that allows you to upgrade really important buildings and defenses while still maximizing the power you get at every town hall. I made a guide on strategic rushing for every single town hall level and it's available on my channel, but for right now, let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes on how to strategically rush at Town Hall 13. Now there's 5 different parts of upgrading we need to talk about so you guys can succeed: buildings, laboratory, heroes, magic items, and equipment. You should only be completing buildings that are absolutely essential for you to upgrade or that help you in your offensive capability. These include the following buildings on screen. Notice how we have all offensive buildings like the army camps and CC because they can help you do way better in war and get more ores every single day. You also want to make sure that you're doing your storages so you can afford everything and get the most out of your runes. In terms of defenses, we only want to focus on those defenses that are going to impact our strength a lot. So that includes the core defenses that are on screen right now. And of course, don't forget the most exciting thing about Town Hall 13, the Royal Champion. The Royal Champion is a nice part of Town Hall 13, and if you have excess Dark Elixir, you can put levels into her since she gets expensive really fast. And contrary to what we initially think, this is actually a really good thing because it allows us to get better value out of our books of heroes. Now moving on to the laboratory part of the guide, your farming army should always be maxed first, so make sure to max your sneaky goblins and wall breakers. You can then move on to the electro dragons and balloons since they are pretty good for 2 stars at this town hall level. And if you have the hog riders and miners at a decent level already, then you can max them out because hybrid is super strong at Town Hall 13. And if there's any other armies that you like to use that are effective for you, make sure that you upgrade those as well. And if you're not sure what to upgrade, spells are almost always a safe bet. The reason I'm not giving you specific armies that you should upgrade is because we're not going to be at Town Hall 13 for a really long time, and therefore it's better for you to make long-term investments at this point than it is to invest into specific armies. Moving on to the magic item portion of the upgrade guide, it's important to realize that the upgrades at Town Hall 13 are really short compared to what they used to be, and thus using magic items on them are not justified. Unless you're absolutely forced, I would not use any magic items on Town Hall 13 upgrades. I would rather save them for Town Hall 14 where you're going to get a lot better value. And just to demonstrate this concept, I've made a table of some common upgrades that you will probably be doing at both of these Town Hall levels, and as you can see, there's a huge jump once you hit the Town Hall 14 level in terms of time, and that's where we'd like to invest our magic items. Now the next thing to talk about is everyone's favorite, equipment. First of all, make sure that the blacksmith is the max level that it possibly can be, since you're going to need it to unlock more equipment. Now in terms of the equipments themselves, you want to upgrade the most powerful and versatile equipment first. Thus the Eternal Tome should be first on the list, followed by the Giant Gauntlet and the Frozen Arrow if you have those available. And a side note, the Giant Gauntlet is actually available in the shop right now for 1500 gems, and I would 100% buy it if you don't have it already. After these 3 equipment, I would recommend upgrading the Royal Gem, as it is a linchpin to any Royal Champion combination at the moment. You also don't get the Haste Vial and the Hog Rider Puppet until later, so yeah. The last thing we need to talk about is heroes, and this is going to be the easiest to upgrade. This is because we're simply just not going to upgrade them. The opportunity cost is too high, considering that we can max the heroes for war with just hero potions. That being said, a few levels on the Royal Champion will help offload extra Dark Elixir and get some better value out of your books of heroes. Now, if you've got all of those upgrades done, then you should be good to go, but obviously this is a lot to remember after hearing it for just one time. So here's a quick table that you guys can pause and screenshot to know when you should go to the next town hall level, as well as any triggers that will make you go to the next town hall level immediately. But whether you're ready for the next town hall level already, or you're still working and making your way towards it, there are a few things that you can do that can really set yourself up for success in the future. The first one of these things is to stockpile some ores. This is because when you reach Town Hall 14, you will unlock the max level of all common equipment when you upgrade the blacksmith. If you save some ores, you'll be able to max out your Eternal Tome on day 1. The time that you'll have to be saving your ores will vary, but I would recommend to be saving for at least 2 weeks so that you get enough resources to be able to max the Eternal Tome on day 1. Another smart thing you could do is to leave your Eagle Artillery upgrade until you've clicked up to Town Hall 14. This is because the Eagle Artillery is the longest upgrade at Town Hall 13, and if you get to the point where you need to spend a book of building, you'd rather use it on that upgrade rather than anywhere else. It's also best for you to stockpile your CWL medals since they get better value later on. But also make sure to pre-buy a Hammer of Building and a Hammer of Fighting, as they'll have a 7-day cooldown and you could simply get around that by buying them earlier. If timed correctly, you could have 2 Hammers of Building and 2 Hammers of Fighting on the first day of Town Hall 14, and that would be really good for your progress. Now, I mentioned previously that you should save your magic items for Town Hall 14 upgrades, and it's also important to consider the gold pass when it comes to this concept. Ideally, you spend your magic items on Town Hall 14, so try to upgrade before the month is up, and that way you can use your magic items from the gold pass on Town Hall 14 upgrades. For free-to-play players, you would basically do the same thing, except you would do it with clan games. But the last and most important tip that I have for all of you is to know why you're doing what you're doing. A lot of players will just follow guides online without really thinking about why those guides are made the way they are. I don't want you guys to go ahead and do upgrades because I tell you to do those upgrades. I want you guys to go ahead and understand the efficiency for yourself, as this will help you a lot in your progression. And if you want a head start on that, watch this video right here, because it will explain why strategic rushing is the fastest and most efficient way to max your Clash of Clans account.